Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday. Simon here again with AvaTrade. I hope you had a great week and you're enjoying your weekend as well, getting ready for the upcoming week. So I want to welcome everyone back and a special welcome to our new visitors. And for you, just a small explanation what we do here. And it pretty much says in the title, your weekly trading plan. And that's what we're trying to do pretty much. We're trying to work out some scenarios, some possible moves on the market based on some fundamentals and technicals together. And it helps to have a structure, as I always say. You plan your trade and then you trade your plan. This way, you don't need to be spontaneous or impulsive or lose control. It's always better to have a structure. Okay, before we go any further, as usual, I would like to read the risk warning. Any capital markets and trading information disclosed in this webinar is provided for informative purposes only and should not be construed or applied as investment advice, recommendation, or suggestion. CFDs are complex instruments and come with a high risk of losing money rapidly due to leverage. 71% of retail investor accounts lose money when trading CFDs with this provider. You should consider whether you understand how CFDs work and whether you can afford to take the high risk of losing your money. This is important, and if you'd like to read the full disclosure statement, it's on avatrade.com. Okay, so briefly here, of course, you can keep in touch with us. You can access a lot of useful information on YouTube, Twitter. It's an AvaTrade and YouTube channel where you can find tutorials, um, webinars being recorded, including this one. So that's for your usage there. And the agenda, as usual, we go through indices, Forex, commodities, and stocks. And let's start from the last week, and that's what I want to bring to your attention. Just a little review of last week. As we said, Monday was the Martin Luther King Day. It was a holiday in the States, so the equity in the bond market was closed. And come Tuesday, pretty much for the whole week with the major bounces, markets really sold heavily. I just give you the numbers. We have a Dow Jones lost about 4.6%, S&P's lost about 5.7%, and Nasdaq was the biggest loser again. I lost 7.6%. So from the beginning of the year, Nasdaq's down like 11%. It's really losing the ground. A lot of technical stocks are selling. Semiconductors are selling. We'll go through some stocks when we get to it. So what's in store for this upcoming week? And I like to start with the big picture. Besides all the economic events and so on, we still have COVID. It's still there. By the way, I was home for a week with it. I tested positive with a PCR test, and I stayed from home. Thank God I didn't have any heavy symptoms. I managed actually to work through the week and work from home, of course. And next week I'll be back in the office working. And but just to let you know, it's not pleasant, and I'm happy I didn't have any serious complications, so on. But it's important to take care of yourself and stay safe. And as I always say, in this case, is if you're trying to protect yourself, you have better chances. And of course, try to do everything to boost your immune system so you stay strong, even if you catch anything related to COVID. So the upcoming week, okay, the upcoming week, I want to bring up the calendar, and these are, like I said, I suggest to everyone to look through the calendar, look through things that are relevant to what you trade in the region of the world and so on. And what I do, I just take out something that you see in red. Those are the high impact announcements and news that are coming out. So Monday, we have the manufacturing PMI from Germany and European Union, and UK. So that's the PMI numbers. On Tuesday, we have a inflation number from Australia. Now, on Wednesday is the key day. We'll get in there in a second, but the Canadians are reporting first. That's also the interest rate decision and monetary policy and the press conference. And it's followed later on with first FOMC meeting of this year. Now, this is very, very important. Um, the analysts don't expect any interest rate decisions at this meeting, but anything could happen. We've seen surprises, so anything could be happening. One thing that I found, one of the articles said that they might announce that they're gonna do tapering a little bit more aggressively. So instead of finishing in March, they might finish in February. That's something. But again, I wouldn't be surprised if they do decide to post interest rate hiked at this point as well, even though everybody expecting it in March, and analysts are saying that the 25%, 25 point percentage is already priced in the market. So again, we're not here to predict, we're here to follow and act on it. So that's Wednesday, the key point of the week. So FOMC is the most important, and we're waiting for that announcement. Thursday, we have durable goods from the States, GDP from the States, and Friday we have GDP from Germany. So that's as far as the economic calendar. Now, let's move to the trading platform, and I want to purposely start from this here. Like, take a look. That's Netflix. Netflix has been strong, and then the past weeks has been really, it's been getting killed, so to speak. It's been selling. They predicted not such a good thing, and then on the 20th they came out. They really had bad predictions for the year and for upcoming quarters. So investors really reacted to it. The stock gap down. Basically, it's a 20% drop in Netflix, plus minus. So of course Nasdaq followed and everything else. So we'll go. I just want to show you how negative news can affect the stock. So yes, we've seen things falling 1, 2, 3, 5%. Now this is off the bat. The moment the market opened on Friday, we lost 20% off the bat. Nothing you can do. So that's the beauty and the curse of the stocks. If you're on the right side, you're happy. If you're on the wrong side, I imagine some traders thought, okay, we're getting close to 500. We just came from 600. Maybe it is a bargain. Apparently not. So there's always two camps. One camp is happy. In this case, the sellers are happy, and the buyers are not. Okay, so that's something in the stocks. It's very good, but you don't really have control till the opening of the session. Only then you can act upon your positions or opening new. Now, I just want to get another thing out of the way so I won't forget Bitcoin. We spoke about Bitcoin, how it really was really showing a lot of weakness after drop. There was no pullback. We were sitting around 40,000, and then we broke 40, and then selling really got intense. So we're trading currently around 35. What's the future for it? We could go easily and retest around 30,000, and that's going to be a key point, because that's what happened the last sell-off. Then we had a nice build-up, nice accumulation, and then we made a new high. So pretty much from the all-time high, we down 50% within 3 months. That's intense. Again, speaking of things, the high return is always connected with a high risk. So people that like to trade it, I can't blame them. There's a lot of opportunities there, but there's also a risk there, and it's important to take that into consideration. So we got Bitcoin out of the way, and let's go to indices. And we'll take a look. I mean, it's obvious we fell down, like I said, big numbers for the week. Let's see what this week could be for indices. Now, this is the Nifty 50. We spoke about it. It just acts on its own, but when the market pulls in, it went with the gaps. Okay. Now, US 500. I'm just gonna bring the other chart with moving averages. Now we crossed the 50, 100, and 200. So we closed on Thursday below 200, and then immediately the following day, of course, everything. The Nasdaq pulled in, the tech stocks pulled things down, and of course, they are members of S&P 500, not just the Nasdaq, and we had to move down. Now, what's next? Let's take a look at the weekly chart. We could be moving. This is the weekly chart. We could be moving and testing the 50-week moving average here and see how we go. As far as the levels, this was the level, and that was the week of September 26th, and the low here was 2660. Sorry, 4260. So 4260, 4250. This could be the initial test if that support holds there. So we'll be watching that again. We could start the week with some crazy bounce. I personally doubt it. Again, that's my opinion. It shouldn't affect your trading. But the reason I'm saying it, take a look on Friday. There were no pullbacks, straight moving down. Not a single point. They thought, okay, maybe we should buy it. Take a look. Yeah, there were tails and false breakouts, but we closed at the lows on Friday. So that means usually when that happens, the Monday continues in the same direction. So this is S&P 500. We're going to look at the weekly chart. So trying to test uh, 50 moving average on the weekly chart. Now, Dow Jones, it's already closed below. So that's signaling that it could be we will continue lower. And I guess 34, 3,300, 33,000 would be, I guess 33,000 would be a next strong support over here. Nasdaq as well closed below the 50-week moving average, and here we actually, unlike the other two indices, we are retesting the previous sell, and that's 14,367. We're really not that far. We're about $50 away from this point here. So this would be our approximate support, and let's see if we handle that. Now, I'll manage in a moment. I'm just jump a little bit ahead. There's the major stocks that could be affecting, of course, or will be definitely affecting. The major indices are reporting the upcoming week. I'm gonna speak to them or about them in a moment. French index also a move down. Now finally we broke through 50 moving average on the daily chart, so it could continue lower. FTSE also after holding it. Remember I said it's really holding for some reason. I don't know why, even though Boris Johnson is having troubles politically there, and finally some sense came to it, so it just got pulled in together with U.S. indices. DAX had a very strong drop, and we are also on the way to retest the 50 moving average on the weekly chart there. So let's talk about stocks, and then we'll move to Forex world. Now, the stocks that are reporting the upcoming week are the following stocks. Of course, there are more stocks. I just chose the major ones. Apple is reporting, and take a look. Apple's been selling. It's between 50 and 100-day moving average here. Apple is reporting on the 27th after the market. So pay attention to that if you're an Apple trader. Microsoft, it was the strongest one, and now it's really selling, and it's reporting on the 25th after the market. And take a look where Microsoft is. It's on the way to retest the 200 moving average. And technically speaking, we broke through this level here. There was a resistance that became initial support. We are lower. So two things: we could be finding some support at the 200 moving average, and if that doesn't hold, we might slide to this level here around 281. from which level we made the new highs there. It's also possible. So we are in this channel kind of between 304 and 281. And I guess earnings will make it or kill it as well. So that's Microsoft on the 25th after the market. Tesla, the favorite stock. Take a look what Tesla is doing. It's actually, this was, just to give you an idea, this was the move to do with Hertz announcing buying tons of cars. Then there was a sell-off when Musk decided to sell 10% of the holdings. The moment he stopped selling, we went right back, almost got to all-time highs. And now we're selling. We crossed on Friday the 100 moving average, and it could be that we find support there, or we might move a little bit lower to this level here around 885 from which we bounced, and if not, the 200 moving average as well. So Tesla is reporting again, together with the stocks that we just spoke about, are on the 26th after the market. Very, very important. Most likely they will report good things, but again, even great things on the bad market tend to fall, like I mentioned a few times. So that's Tesla. Johnson and Johnson reporting as well, and they report on the 25th before the market. And recently it was a nice drop. We're sitting on the 100 moving average, and we pretty much holding this level around 164, 165. Let's see what the earnings would do to the stock. Intel. Intel, after this recent move out of stagnation, it really sold, and we're sitting in the 100 moving average. Intel is reporting on the 26th after the market. So if you look at the weekly chart, the whole week we really sold, and we are sitting, like I said, at the 100 moving average. It could be that um, we might hold again. Let's see what the earnings are showing. Boeing, super sensitive stock to COVID. It sold. We hit the 200 moving average, and then we sold 3 days straight. Now, what's next? We'll see the 26th before the market day report. We are in a very interesting zone here. If you take a look, we had uh, retests here a few times from which we bounced nicely. This was a nice bounce, and then another one almost from here we bounced, and then there was a lot of actions around 204, 205, and then we hit it on Friday and we bounced a little bit. So 204, 205 level is holding. Let's see what the earnings will bring. So that's it as far as the stocks. And I just want to bring two stocks to your attention. They're not reporting next week, but remember I spoke to you about Uber, all this move with the excitement of the CEO, and we're approaching the level from which we made that initial move. So if that, what he was talking about, all the positive things are still in play, we might see a bounce from here. So it could be a possible opportunity on the buy side. Again, granted that the market has some strength and recovery here. So just to pay attention. And this stock, I never spoke about it, but I read something that some analysts are saying that the stock has a good future in the 2022. And if you see technically, it's actually on the selling market. It didn't break the previous support. So it is holding around 1842. And on the daily chart, it's also, it looks like it's found its support, 1842. Just to pay attention to this stock, as there's some analysts are predicting a good future for this stock, just to pay attention. Okay, and before we move to Forex, I want to show you the banking stocks. They really suffered, and most of them is JP Morgan. Take a look. It was the strongest in the group, and it just fell. They reported higher expenses, and the earnings were not so great. Not to speak more about it, but the stocks really sold, even though analysts said that with the interest rate, the stocks will do great. Of course, it didn't happen yet, so we might see a nice bounce, but on the weekly chart, they just lose ground and they're really selling hard. So that's as far as the stocks. Let's move to Forex, and we start with dollar index like usually. And dollar index, I'm bringing out a chart just to see clear. We dipped in the previous few days below 95. We came right back, established 95.50 as a support, and now we're between 95.50 and 96. And in order for us to go higher, we would need to start closing about 96. But this showed the strength. There was an initial pull in, and the sellers couldn't hold it. The buyers stepped in and brought it right back in this channel, 94, 95 and a half to 96. So another thing that I mentioned to you, when the market sells, to pay attention to the pairs with JPY, and they worked out very nicely last week. Let's just take a look. This is, I'm going to show you a weekly chart. Aussie JPY, nice move. Euro JPY, very nice move. Just to give you an idea, this was the week. The range of this between the high and the low, it's about 280 pips on Euro JPY. NZD JPY also very nice move in the last week. On the daily chart, it looks more intense. And we're actually sitting now on this pair, NZD JPY, we're sitting at a very strategic level, around 76.29. Take a look. From here, we dropped, then we held this level, we moved higher, and then we held it again. We refused to move higher here, and now we're retesting it. So if we see some price action closing below this level, and if the market continues to sell, the yen should gain some strength, and this pair could start moving much lower from these levels. CAD JPY also down weak, and GBP JPY a nice move in a week. So all of it worked out very nice. And again, just for those of you that knew, why did I connect these pairs to the falling market? That because when the market is selling, something to know the risk of trading, and the money goes into safe haven, and safe havens, normally there are three of them. There's a Swiss franc, gold, and Japanese yen. Swiss franc has been acting a little bit strangely lately, and yen seems to be working so far. And that's why on the falling market, the yen is getting stronger as the money flows into safe haven. Now, major currencies, uh, let's take a look at them really quick. Um, Euro dollar is the most traded pair. It's been really stuck in this channel here, and it's hard to make anything out of it. Take a look. We're between 112.50 and 114. We need to break out either up or down from this range to have some serious trading. Otherwise, it's a good environment for scalpers and day traders that are trying to really trade on a small time frame and catch these moves. It's not easy, but those of you that are working in this manner as far as the scalping, it works out well because scalpers feel safe when we are in the channel. So at some point we're going to break out. There's a lot of accumulation here. It's going to go one way or another. British pound is it's been strong, and then this past week we've been selling. We're on the way probably to retest 135.15. This was the level from which we sold and the level we held before moving higher. So that's a pound. Aussie dollar had some strength here. China actually made some easier. They give some easier life to economy by cutting the short and long term interest rate. Very small percentage, but Asian market reacted positively to it, and Australian dollar reacted to it, as Australia is a big exporter of resource and goods to China, as they call them, commodity currency, Australian and New Zealand dollar. So those had a little bit of a strength. Now, as far as funny pairs, I call them, don't mind me saying it, but the exotic ones. Um, USD TRY, after all this, a lot of excitement, really sitting, we're glued to this level around 1340, 1350. Nothing's happening there. But again, after sitting in the one place for a while, it's got to move one way or another. We'll be watching that. And USD ZAR has been selling off, and I'm expecting around 15 for it to find support, or even here 15.10. It might catch up with a strong dollar, and if that happens, and it's going to bounce, it will see some move to the upside. So that's the FX world. Crude oil, it's been strong. We got out of this range over here, out of the resistance, but we came right back into this zone. So again, Putin against the world is still going on. They had few meetings last week. There's nothing they achieved. On the action side, Russian troops entered Belarusia. They're doing some kind of a training there, and some say that that's kind of a preparation for entering Ukraine. I hope it doesn't happen. But crude oil has been strong, partially because of that, and natural gas. It's that was the attempt to move higher, and then we sold, and we're back to this consolidation zone. Okay, and let's see what happens here. Again, it depends a lot of what's happening in Ukraine and Russia, and other aspects. Of course, the weather, how the winter, is it cold, is it mild? We'll see what happens. But we back below 4. So Friday was an up day. We need to break before 4 to move higher, and or we can get stuck here in this consolidation zone as well. And let's take a look at gold. Gold broke the resistance on Wednesday. Thursday was a flat day, and Friday was a little bit of selling, but we are holding this 1830, 1834 area, and maybe preparing for the move higher. It depends what happens in the upcoming week. Depends what the announcement of FOMC will bring us. So that's as far as gold. And I think we covered it all. Um, that's it pretty much. Let's just take a look really quick to soft commodities. They had a nice week. Wheat had a bounce about the resistance, and then they pulled back a little bit. Corn had an up week and breaking out of this resistance, looks strong. And soybeans the same way. So softies, just a reminder, we spoke last week that analysts are predicting good year for the softies, soft commodities that is, because of the high energy prices and other reasons. Okay, just to summarize what we spoke about, we have COVID issues still there. Unfortunately, we have Putin kind of against the world. I hope that will work out without any actions, because war is not good for anybody besides the sellers of weapons, unfortunately. And we have FOMC meeting that's on the horizon on Wednesday. Very, very important. High expectation on that. And major stocks are reporting this week: Apple, Microsoft, Tesla, Johnson & Johnson, Intel, Boeing, and others. And I want to wish everyone an amazing week, and also enjoy the weekend while it's last. Get some energy, stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, and be productive. All the best.